Welcome to the show, everybody. Joseph Robert, the fantasy football counselor. It's Sunday AM, and we're doing a virtual tailgate here. We are 11 days away from the season. I'm losing track of time. I'm so excited. Almost kickoff. So every Sunday morning, guys, make sure you're tuning in. Here, we do a virtual tailgate with the top NFL YouTubers and influencers giving you guys up-to-date training camp news, information. And when the season starts, obviously, you want to get up-to-date with injuries and everything else regarding your NFL team. So virtual tailgate here with the fantasy football counselor and the top ambassadors. So make sure you guys smash the thumbs up, subscribe, and of course, leave your comments because we want to make this super interactive with you guys, the fans, because this is all about you. Fan to Fan Network is about you. And right now, you guys need to head on over to fantofannetwork.com. Right now, guys, get subscribed and hit the bookmark on fantofannetwork.com because that's where you're going to get all your news from these top ambassadors, okay? Now, it is fantasy season, so I got to plug my content. Listen. Football is here. Fantasy football. Get the 16-round draft solution at thefantasyfootballcounselor.com. I know a lot of people are drafting, and I want you guys to draft successfully. Head on over to thefantasyfootballcounselor.com. Get that. And, of course, guys, fantofannetwork.com, and check out every single ambassador and subscribe to their YouTube channel. So we're going to kick off the show with our lead writer here. Matt, what is going on, man?
Hey, good morning, Joe. How you doing?
Excited to have you on, man. So what do you have for us in regards to anything training camp, any news and notes? What are you here to cover with us in about 2 to 3 minutes? Give us an update, and you cover everything from news and notes to everything. So what's going on?
Yeah, exactly. So the story I want to kick off with is that the Bears head coach, Matt Nagy, said to the media that he won't have a starter announced before their opener against the Detroit Lions. Obviously, we know that the Bears brought in Nick Foles for competition against Mitch Trubisky, but Nagy has declined to say who he thinks the better player is at this point in camp. So very an interesting story to watch as it develops through training camp.
I hate Nagy. Nagy's a goofball. That guy is almost going to get fired. He's almost there. Almost going to get fired. So continue on. I'm not a Nagy fan.
Well, him and Patricia are kind of on the hot seat, obviously.
Yes.
With the Lions, but continuing on to some signings and injuries, the New York Jets are expected to sign free agent Dante Moncrief once he passes COVID protocol.
Years to wow me, and guess what, Matt? I'm not wowed. I mean, desperate times call for desperate measures. Continue.
Dolphins quarterback Ryan Fitzpatrick left practice early after he had learned that his mother had passed away. Thoughts and prayers up to them.
I heard about that. That's sad, man. I heard about, and he's not a big guy on social media. I went to look for him on Insta. I didn't see him on Instagram. He's got a bunch of fan accounts, but yeah, that's very unfortunate. I mean, he's a young guy. I can't imagine his mom is old. So I feel bad about that. Continue. Sorry about that.
Yeah, the Harvard grad's usually very, very quiet through the media and with social. He had recently left camp to spend some time with her in her final moments. One development we have with the Eagles, Andre Dillard, head coach Doug Peterson said that Jason Peters, Jordan Mailata, Matt Pryor, and Jack Driscoll are all options to fill his slots. Additionally, Lane Johnson is listed as day-to-day with a lower body injury. NFL Network reporter Mike Garafolo reported that if moved to the position, Peters is looking for a pay increase. Very interesting storyline if he is to fill that slot. Washington head coach Ron Rivera said that rookie wide receiver Antonio Gandy Golden suffered an undisclosed injury in Friday's practice. Rivera said that the injury is not serious and he should be back soon. Indianapolis Colts tight end Trey Burton was helped off the field after suffering injuries to his leg, and head coach Frank Reich said that Burton has a calf strain, is expected to miss some time, but he did not say how long.
Years to wow. I mean, I'm not wow with Trey Burton either. So is that pretty much it for the latest news and notes?
We have one more. The Atlantic Falcons announced that they have signed defensive end Steven Means, and he has been placed on the reserved COVID list. He joins Jaguars offensive lineman Ryan Pope as the only 2 players on the COVID list. So all of the policies and procedures that the NFL has put in place with COVID testing and social distancing seems to really be working, and hopefully the season goes on without a hitch.
All right, man. Thanks, Matt. Let's move on here to our 49ers gentlemen here. We're going to slide them in for a few minutes. What's going on, Nick, from the Nothing But Niners? Make sure you guys check out the channel for everything for 49ers. What's going on, Nick?
What's going on, Joe, man? Same old. But thanks for checking in, everybody. Make sure you guys hit that like and subscribe button, as Joe said before. Tell all your friends and fans about us all as well. FTFN Network. But yeah, man, nothing really new to report on the Niners end. Obviously, the Niners did release tight end Eric Swoop, who they just signed last week, and to replace him, they brought in another tight end, Marquis Gray, who was an undrafted guy back in 2013. Actually, the Niners took him back in 2013, 2014. He's back with the team to do that, little tryout as well. He did sign a 1-year deal. Obviously, no new news on the updates on injuries. Nick Bosa's still out week to week with a muscle strain somewhere in his leg. They won't specify where it's at. George Kittle was still held out of practice just because of some tightness. They did do an MRI. No strains there or anything like that. It's just muscle tightness. That's pretty much it on the news front. On the Niners end, just same injuries. Nothing new to update. Still week to week, day to day. Looks like Ronald Blair may be coming back instead of going on the PUP list to start the year, as well as Deebo Samuel still looking good. He's been running some, strong runs on the sideline and things like that. So it looks like he'll be back to practice as soon as we start getting going, hopefully soon too. And,
is Deebo going week one? Is Deebo going week one? I think he is, right?
Deebo is still listed as questionable right now for week one. Hopeful, I should say. Kyle Shanahan keeps saying hopeful, but I don't think that Kyle Shanahan's going to let anybody know what's going on with Deebo until the last minute.
All right. Sounds good. All right. Well, thanks for the update, man. You're free to go. Appreciate it, man. Enjoy San Fran, man. Nice warm weather out there on the West Coast.
Hey, let's go, man. Go Niners.
All right. Moving on here. We got, I believe we have AZ. We got AZ on. What's happening, man? Arizona.
What's up, guy? What's up, Joe? How are we doing, man?
Good to see you.
Good over here. Yeah, good to see you too, man. It's really hot over here, so not the best weather here in Phoenix.
So what's happening in Arizona, man? Like, what is going on with the Cardinals? Is Kyler Murray looking like the next Lamar Jackson? That's the big question in the fantasy world. Is Kyler Murray the next Lamar Jackson? I'm going to answer that before you do. No, he's not.
So in terms of, I guess, being Lamar Jackson, it's going to be no as well, because the thing is that we're all wrapping up Kyler Murray and comparing him to Lamar Jackson. He's not a runner type, like a run first type quarterback. It's been said time and time again, and all national people keep saying the same thing. He's going to be the next Lamar. It's not going to happen. Kyler Murray does not want to run the ball. He'll do anything he possibly can to sit down, get out of bounds. He is more like a Russell Wilson type of quarterback.
Right.
Where he can run if he wants to, but he's a very accurate quarterback. Let me tell you that. We're going to see a lot of good things from Kyler Murray. Now, one thing I want to mention is yesterday we had our red and white practice, which basically is like our first time in pads and practicing, and it was actually broadcasted on TV. So I was able to see that. So a couple little things I wanted to mention here is that Chris Striveler, which is the third string quarterback, brought in to be kind of like that Swiss Army knife, that Taysom Hill type of quarterback.
Right.
He got a lot of the snaps. So did Brett Hundley. We saw Chris Striveler break out for like an RPO and basically took it to the house. Really cool. An exciting thing, and I think you might like this news, is Eno Benjamin broke a 20+ yard touchdown. Granted, it's practice, but it looks good. Eno Benjamin is super exciting to watch. I'm really happy. Andy Isabella caught some balls, and also Hakeem Butler.
My hands are up in the air because I've got Eno Benjamin stashed in all of my fantasy teams. So what you gonna do, brother? I like him, man. Everybody's getting Kenyon Drake in the first round, late first round. And I'm pointing my finger, if you guys are listening on audio, because I'm putting this on my podcast right now as well, for all you guys, go follow AZ Sports Fan, because he speaks the truth. This guy could have came in and said, hey, man, Kyler Murray's the next Lamar, but he's being honest with you guys. That's what you get here. You're getting real advice from the top ambassador. So I'm beyond excited for what's going on here. So or anything else with you guys, with you?
No, man, that's pretty much the extent of everything. Injuries doesn't look too bad right now. We're just kind of waiting for that first week. Super excited about it. So rise up, Red Sea. We're gonna do good things this year.
All right, so let's move on here. Who else do we got in the ranks? We got Norb Cam. Let's stay to the west out there. What's going on, Norb Cam, with the Seahawks?
Well, unfortunately, it's been more bad news than good news. The Seahawks definitely got hit by the injury bug this past week. Receivers taking a hit. Philip Dorsett, who we got from the Patriots in the offseason, who's been one of the fastest guys on the field, a nagging foot injury has slowed him down, and now is questionable when he will be game ready. They definitely have to manage his time in practice now. Along with John Ursua, who was their first-round receiver last year, didn't get much playing time, was hoping to work his way into the starting roster. He's got a hamstring injury, along with another receiver we picked up in the offseason as well. So as a result, the Seahawks went and picked up an old friend, Paul Richardson.
Oh, wow.
Who was released by the Washington football team. Paul Richardson just signed this weekend to help bolster that receiving core. Unfortunately, he's been injury prone himself. He had a $40 million contract with the Redskins, the Washington football team, $20 million guaranteed, and he only had 48 catches over 2 seasons because of injuries. So we're trying to solve an injury problem with an injury prone guy. So I'm not sure how it's all going to work out, but they need somebody there. So that's been probably the biggest news of the weekend, unfortunately as well. On the offensive line, which has been a big issue of discussion, we finally got Jermaine Fetty, the questionable right tackle, who's been a bit of a bust for us. We got Brandon Shell picked up in the offseason, got a bunch of money to him, and he looked like immediately he was the starter. We're good there. And then he went on Wednesday, hurt his ankle in pregame warmups during their mock game. So now he's a little bit questionable. So once again, we're playing shuffle the cards on the offensive line once again. So injury bug, not good for the Seahawks as we're getting closer to this season opener.
So I wanted to ask you, what is the issue real quick before I let you go? Why so much desperation for wide receivers? Are you not satisfied with DK Metcalf? Like, what is going on here? Tell us, please.
Well, no, we love DK Metcalf, and we have nothing to complain when it comes to DK Metcalf. Tyler Lockett, too, has been quietly doing what he does. This is a depth issue. Obviously, we can't make it with just 2. Those are the names that, from a fantasy standpoint, those are the only 2 names that will ever pop up. I don't think too many people are going to be signing Philip Dorsett under their teams, but we need those 3 wide receivers. We need the 4th, and somebody's eventually going to go down, as you know. So we've got to have 4 or 5.
No, you guys don't believe in Metcalf. That's a load of shit. I think you guys don't believe in Metcalf.
Metcalf is number 1, baby. He's going to tear it up. He's going to tear it up.
Don't be flirting with Antonio Brown. You got your wide receiver. I like Metcalf, but I'm saying, like, come on, stop flirting with other wide receivers. You got your receiving core. Have some faith. I don't see Julio Jones flirting with Antonio Brown. I mean, the Falcons, right? They believe in their guys. Let's go. Let's go. Let Metcalf run with the ball. I like him.
He's going to run, baby. He's going to run. He's going to be amazing. I can't say too much about him. He's going to shine. He's going to be awesome. I can't wait to see what Metcalf can do this year.
Okay, perfect. Now, we're going to slide in because our schedule is full here, but we got a new guy here, our Vikings guy, Nick. Nick, do you want to jump on here and introduce what is going on in Vikings camp? Nick is new to Fan Network. What's going on, Nick?
Yeah, if you guys didn't see the news this morning, I'm sure you have. We traded for Yannick Ngakoue, which was huge for the Vikings. 2nd-round pick and a conditional 5th, which could be a 3rd if they win the Super Bowl. So I can't wait for that 3rd-round pick to go away next year. The only thing that puts a little bit of damper on the excitement here is it makes you wonder about Dino Hunter's overall health. He's been out of practice for 11 days. Hasn't been much said. There's rumors of a tweaked hamstring. So as exciting as to get Ngakoue, it's also a little bit we're not sure what's going on with Hunter.
Okay, I want to ask you, Nick, we're putting you on the spot here. First time on Fan Network here. A lot of big questions, especially in the fantasy community. Dalvin Cook, is there a holdout? Is he going to be doing well? Is he going to start week 1? What's going on with Dalvin Cook? Should we be concerned drafting him? Is there any type of threat that he might do a holdout at any point in the season?
No, I don't think so. He's been playing nice. The Vikings have been playing nice. He hasn't really been worked in the offense too much yet. So they're kind of keeping him off on the side, doing his own thing, which is a little bit concerning just from a cohesion standpoint. You would definitely want your whole unit in there together working. But if you do draft Dalvin Cook, make sure you grab Alexander Madison because he's been a horse so far in camp.
For sure. Yeah, how is he doing? Is Madison looking really good in camp?
Yeah, he's getting all the work with the ones. It looks like he's just picking up where he left off last year. He did get hurt late in the season, but he seems 100% healthy. This guy's got good explosion, underrated hands, and he's going to be a monster, I think.
I appreciate it, Nick. I know it's your first time in the show. Once you're done your thing, you're free to go, and I appreciate you being here. We'll connect with you later. So anything else we need to know, though? We're good? Up to date?
I think that's all good.
Okay, perfect, man. I appreciate it. Thank you. We'll talk soon. All right, next guy up. Thank you. Titan Upload. What's going on, man? Titan Upload. What is going on, Mark?
Hey, Joe. Thanks for having me.
Appreciate you.
Man, today's going to be a kicker. So I don't know, but I'm going to go off on it because I'm kind of upset. So the Titans brought in Steven Koskowski to supposedly work out this weekend. We've had a kicker battle with Greg Joseph and Tucker McCann, and a lot of you probably have no idea who they are. And I understand that they're relatively young guys, but I'm telling you, last year, Ryan Suckup was our kicker for a while, was hurt. This is why this move concerns me. It scares me. We were 8 for 18, Joe, last year on kicks.
Yeah.
Yes, one win away from the Super Bowl, but it almost cost us. Greg Joseph came in during playoff battle, was perfect for extra points. Only had one kicking opportunity when you have Derrick Henry and Ryan Tannehill going off. But, man, you think J-Rob would have learned his lesson. And the Buccaneers just brought in Ryan Suckup. So you think if the Patriots or the Bucs really thought, Gostkowski was going to be still pretty good off the injury, I think they would have brought him in, don't you? I mean, so I'm a little concerned in Titans lane.
Yeah, so we want to know, I want to know fantasy relevance. How good is A.J. Brown connecting with Ryan Tannehill as of right now? Are they doing good?
Yes. That A.J. Brown is now your number one in Tennessee. We know that. I really wanted him in that fantasy draft, but thanks, Dan, for taking a little bit early. But I think he's just him and DK Metcalf. There's always a comparison, and Norb can contest this probably too, but there's no reason why A.J. Brown was left off that top 100 list. He had over 1,000 yards last year. He had less attempts than DK. And, and DK had honestly Russell Wilson. So when you look at it, Ryan Tannehill supposedly has looked sharp as all get out. Does concern me when you hear talk coming out of camp because they're only going against their own guys. But on the other side of it, I mean, Jonnu Smith's another one, Joe, that you need to really look at on Tennessee land for fantasy, because these guys are really going to be stepping up and they're going to be needed to be counted on if teams take away Derrick Henry.
Before I let you go, I'm all about players when they're on the incline. So I knew that Henry was going to be on the incline. Everybody, the mainstream analysts were sleeping on Derrick Henry. I was the only guy that had him top 6 last year. He was out of the top 10 for everybody. Now they're all starting to ride his dick this year because he did well last year. It's a recency bias thing. So now all the dick riders like Derrick Henry's going to do great. I still think he's going to do great, but do you think there's a decline from last year, or is there still more of a ceiling for this monster and amazing athlete that is Derrick Henry? Is there still more room to grow, or is there a decline this year in regards to overall performance? What do you think?
Well, to be honest, I took him 3 because of respect to him. But you got to be crazy if you think the Titans are going to run him 30 times a game this year and just burn him out for playoff time. They got Evans, the rookie they drafted out of App State. I think they're going to get him involved. They really are an influx. They brought back McNichols from last year, who they cut and who has a career of 4 years in the league. He's on the Niners for a short time, but he has 4 carries for 8 yards. So I don't think you're going to depend a lot on him. So it's really going to come down to Henry and Evans, but I think Evans is going to steal some carries early on. Why wouldn't you keep Derrick Henry fresh as can be?
Right, exactly.
There'll be certain games, Joe, like against the Ravens, the Colts, some of these grinder games that he will get his 30, 35 carries, but most of the time I think they'll keep him around 20. So I would suggest his production probably goes down a little bit.
Yeah.
But it doesn't mean teams can stop him.
Yeah, I feel that as well. All right, let's move on here to Rams. Rams talk. We're going to move on to the Rams. And I'm excited about the Rams. I got to talk to you, man. Trent, we got to talk. We got to talk right now. Right now. Where are you?
What do you want to talk about, Rams?
No, hold on. I got to interrupt you. I got to be an asshole here. I don't care. I'm cutting you off. I'm in a huge money league, okay? Hear me, Trent. You got to listen to my pain and my pleasure here. Yesterday in a huge money league, like you can win $500,000 if you win the whole thing. When I win the whole thing, by the way, I might throw you a couple bucks for helping me out. Cam Akers, I got him. How good do we feel about Cam Akers? And then you can get to your update, but please tell me I did well with Cam Akers as my RB4, please.
Well, as an RB4, that is can't miss, because I feel like that is a play for the second half of the season.
Okay.
Like when bye weeks roll around and you need a replacement, he should be on optimal carries as an RB1 at that time. Because as we know, Darrell Henderson can't really stay healthy. He's still on track, hopefully, to play in the first game. But yesterday, the Rams held a scrimmage, so kind of like their default preseason game at SoFi. And Malcolm Brown got the obligatory first carries of the first drive. But then after that, it was the Cam Akers show, and he scored a touchdown. No fumbles. So they're trying to onboard Cam Akers as fast as they can.
Okay.
Especially with Darrell Henderson being out, all of those reps are going to Cam Akers to basically get all his pass pro in, understand the offense and everything like that. So he scored a TD. So, I mean, that's all you can really ask. I mean, they don't have many details on like how many carries, how many yards, how shifty was he, but he scored and he got a lot of reps. So he's trending. He's going to have more reps in the preseason than Darrell Henderson will. So I mean, I would feel good. That's like a second half of the season RB stash. I mean, he's still going to get at least 10 carries a game, like at the beginning. So he's still going to get some action, but that primary back won't be happening until later in the season.
All right. So I didn't mean to throw you off tangent. So can you continue on with what you kind of came on to talk about? I had to I threw you for a loop, so I got to get you back on track. Sorry about that.
That was top of the line right there. Cause I know the Cam Akers thing is a big deal for everybody. Especially it's a hot name, but just 2 injury things. One, Taylor Rapp, he hasn't played at all in training camp, but he's coming back to practice tomorrow, which is great news. He's our safety. Darrell Henderson practicing. He's on schedule to come back for week 1. In the 4th running back battle, John Kelly versus Xavier Jones, an undrafted free agent out of SMU. When asked, Aaron Donald said the 2 players that impressed him so far in camp is Xavier Jones. So I look for him to be the 4th running back on the depth chart. And with Darrell Henderson out, who knows? And then the other person is Micah Kaiser, because they had to replace Corey Littleton at inside linebacker. So Micah Kaiser's been stepping up, and he had an interception yesterday. Staying with the offense looked sharp. Goff threw 2 touchdowns, one to Robert Woods, one to Tyler Higbee.
Beautiful.
So it looks like Higbee's getting a lot of the first team reps over Gerald Everett. So if you have Higbee, that's a pretty good deal right there.
Higbee's safe.
The game, but
Higbee, sorry to interrupt. Higbee's safe for your fantasy ball tight end. Yeah, and I'm glad you covered Goff. He's looking good because a lot of people in the comments are asking how Goff is looking. So he's looking sharp, looking solid, right?
Yeah, and if you want to see everyone, if you want to check out how Goff did, just go to Rams social media, their Instagram or whatever, and you'll see there's footage of him dropping a complete dime to Van Jefferson. Yes, I'm going to keep saying it, Van Jefferson.
Yeah, he keeps saying his name.
Listen, wide receiver, he's like the Cooper Kupp of 3 years ago. So
wow.
Like, if you have anyone here has a dynasty league, I guarantee you he'll be better than half of the receivers taken ahead of him. Guaranteed.
Well, there you heard it.
I'm saying I'm a homer, but he had a beautiful over-the-shoulder catch on a dime by Goff. So go check it out on Rams social media.
The problem, though, I'm going to let you go here because we're running out for time here for your plug here. The problem I have here, he is still in a committee, technically a wide receiver committee with Woods and Kupp, who are technically guys that feed him, right? The thing is, I'm worried about volume. Similar situation with the Cowboys where you have 3 great mouths to feed. Is volume going to be an issue for Van Jefferson? Probably, right? With Woods there.
It's going to be. So he's competing for wide receiver 3 playing time with Josh Reynolds, who is the incumbent, who's also looking good. But the thing is, you're right. It's the volume. So you lose Cooks, you lose Gurley, right? So you have a bunch of opportunities available.
Correct.
But if Higbee keeps emerging, that's going to siphon targets away from the receivers. So it's still a wait and see, mix and match. But just in terms of like a waiver wire pickup, just keep Van Jefferson in mind in case you need to hit like week 3, week 4, week 5.
Fair enough. He might be a big waiver wire pickup. Thank you, Trent. I appreciate you being on as usual. It means a lot to us. Our Rams ambassador. Check him out, fan2fannetwork.com. He's got his own page. Go support his channel and his YouTube channel like everybody else. All right, we got to move on here. We're going to go to, and a lot of people in the comments asking about this guy. Where is he? Patriots Global. Patriots Global. Patriots is in the house. Where are you? Colby.
What's up, buddy? How are you, Joe?
Dude, I'm doing great. Everybody's asking about you. Patriots all the time. That's all I hear. What is going on in Patstown? Is there anything we need to be aware of right now?
Yeah, so the other day was the last day open to media. So honestly, I'm not expecting to hear much of anything else for the offseason unless it comes to signings or a really big injury, which, knock on wood, nobody wants that to happen. It seems like injuries are happening really at this point league-wide. So let's just hope nothing happens there with the Patriots. But they've been making a lot of roster moves, a lot of signings, a lot of releases, but none of them have been significant. I think, as we all know, the New England Patriots have top 3 in available cap between 30 and 35 million, and they're just not touching that. Now, Bill Belichick does like to move in to the season with some wiggle room, but never 30 to 35 million. And I think that that is just showing us that he's being very cautious. Although we have 30 to 35 million, he's acting like we still only got about 100K
right,
because of the situation moving in to the 2021 season where we don't know the whole cap situation. So I think that's kind of a situation that Pats Nation, the rest of the NFL, is kind of asking about. So hopefully I can answer that. As for training camp, Cam Newton is the guy. Cam Newton is the quarterback standing out. To start training camp, it was actually Jarrett Stidham that was taking over. Brian Hoyer, kind of just that middle guy. Some days he was looking really good, dropping dimes, deep balls down the field. Other days it was just like, that's the journeyman Brian Hoyer that we all know. But, then Jarrett Stidham got injured. That hip injury isn't expected to be anything serious, but he took a drastic drop down, and just each day Cam Newton is getting better and better within the New England Patriots system. He's building chemistry. I think it's actually really cool that he has his own unique handshake that he does within the huddle with each of his wide receivers.
Nice.
So he gives a handshake to each of his guys, and each of those handshakes are different. I think that just shows him building the chemistry and each day showing how great he is. These rookies, the rookie class, is just showing how dominant they are. I mean, I think everyone really judged Bill Belichick and the New England Patriots 2020 draft, and it is looking to be a very, very productive one. Second round safety Kyle Duggar is looking really good, looking like he could be the potential starter to replace Patrick Chung. Devin Asiasi, easily the Patriots' number one tight end, looking really good as a versatility guy, both coming to blocking, what the Patriots, of course, need for the running game, but two, also in the passing game. So then I would say, as for the bigger section for the running backs, Sony Michel finally coming back, but, it's late into the process.
Okay.
You're coming in late into the process. You were the cowbell running back, but at this point, you're coming with injuries. Last year, you took a drastic drop compared to your rookie season in 2018. And the guy getting a lot of looks is someone that Pats Nation has been waiting to see. And that is second-year running back Damien Harris.
Yeah, I've been hearing a lot of hype around this guy.
Yes. Interesting fact about Damien Harris, while he was in college, because he was in college with, he played with Josh Jacobs, and he was actually the bigger, more starting productive running back than Josh Jacobs, but nobody wants to talk about Damien Harris. And I think that's the crazy in my mind. And so the big thing there too is that at the time, he was considered the steal of the draft. A lot of NFL analysts were considering him the steal of the whole entire draft, not just for the Patriots, but the entire draft. Redshirted the first year with the Patriots. So, I mean, this upcoming season, he's looking to be a big contributor, possibly splitting those reps and maybe even taking that starting job away from.
Listen, I'm staying away from your committee at running back, so we're going to move on from that. Two quick things. There's a guy in here. I got to let you go because we got to move on. We literally have like 30 seconds. Sports fan guy in here saying Patriots suck. And then sports fan all day. His name is saying Patriots suck. And there's people saying, stop making fun of the Patriots. Another guy, Charisma Mero, says we'll stop making fun of them when they stop cheating. So we got some mixed feelings here in the crowds here. What are your thoughts on that?
I mean, hey, like I said, everybody hates a winner. Everybody hates a winner. That's how it's going to be.
I love it.
The Patriots are always going to be a team where we're going to be silent, but we're going to be deadly, and we're going to prove that again.
In 20 seconds or less, Devin Asiasi, I've got him as a sleeper. I'm drafting him in all my drafts as a backup tight end. Is he getting volume in training camp? Is he getting passes? Is he a pass catching guy? Is Devin Asiasi a guy that's building chemistry with Newton? Is he going to be a factor for fantasy? Please let us know.
Yes, and even before training camp, he was doing one-on-one sessions. He's doing one-on-one sessions during training camp, like side sessions. He's the Patriots' number one tight end. Guarantee you, he's a guy that late-round pick you can definitely.
Nobody's talking about him except for me, so I'm excited. All right, let's move on here. We got to go to one of my personal favorite ambassadors. Here comes the energy. Pause up for Big Cat. Do I have it down?
Pause up.
Do I have it?
Up. Hey, man, here we go. I got to get started.
Do I have this, though? Do I have this yet? Do I almost have it?
Let me see.
Pause up. Not yet.
You got to curl your fingers.
Oh, it's not the shit. It's not the Queen wave. It's more the shit.
curl them like claws.
Oh, okay.
Let it come from your lungs.
I was doing the Queen wave. I was way off. Okay, sorry to interrupt. I just murdered that. Okay, continue.
Yeah, you did. Thanks for murdering. So we're gonna start right here, man. I want to say rest in peace to Chad Boseman, the original Black Panther, South Carolina.
Yes. Yeah, that's.
All right, so now we got that out the way. Carolina Panthers. You want to know about the Panthers?
Please.
Let's get started.
Here we go. Tell us.
Carolina Panthers are needing help at defensive back. If you drive by 123 Mint Street, you'll see a help wanted sign. According to PanthersWire.com, they need help for defensive backs. 2 weeks to the season, they're calling teams. Hello? Can you help us? Do you have a DB to spare? 2 weeks before the season starts, we're looking for a DB. Now, this is why I'm so frustrated with this organization. I love you, Panthers. You know, I just love you, but I don't get it. Okay. Now in the offseason, now KK, he's due $13 million going into next year. We could trade him and turn around and get a DB, and we'll also get his heavy cap off the books, right? So now you want to wait to 2 weeks. Now you want to insert the trade. Here's my thing, y'all. Now I'm confused because this whole offseason, all I was hearing about how good we were on defense and offense. Now, is the offense really that good, or is the defensive backs really that bad? And this is the question we're having to ask ourselves 2 weeks prior to the season start.
Right.
All right, now let's move on to the next one. The Carolina Panthers are looking to start 4 rookies. Troy Pryor Jr., YGM, Yetur Grace-Matos, Derrick Brown, and possibly Jeremy Chin. So now we're starting 4 rookies. We need defensive back helps. Anybody got some? And also on top of this, they canceled practice Sunday. They canceled practice Saturday, and they canceled it this morning due to the protests.
Right.
Again, man, I'm confused, man. Right now, I get what's going on in the world right now, but either you're gonna be all in or you're gonna be all out.
Right.
Okay, canceling practice is not gonna change what's going on in this fucking world.
I'm glad you feel like that. I'm glad you feel. Sorry to interrupt. I'm glad you feel like that. I'm saying, like, if you want to make I say we come meet the middle. If you want to kneel, I say we let them kneel and we mix it up. One week they kneel, 1 week they stay, whatever it is. But yeah, canceling one game won't alter events. I don't think it'll make that much of a difference. One game, you know.
You both are confused, man. I'm not sure what's going on here, but this organization, right at the wrong time, is in a tailspin when it comes to the direction headed into the 2020 season. Not looking good, man. It's not looking hopeful for.
Yeah, I mean, at least if you're kneeling, I don't want to get into politics. At least if you're kneeling, the fans can see it. But if you don't show up, I think that only pisses fans off. I don't know. Again, I'm not a political. I don't want to, talk about politics here. But if you want to kneel, no, okay, just kneel. But to opt out of a game, I mean, I don't know, man. It's going to throw things off, I think. But it is what it is. Hopefully everything gets going. I mean, between politics and what's happened with the world situation with this disease, I mean, it's been crazy. Let's just get to some football, for God's sakes. You know what I'm saying?
Right. I don't see how this is sending a message that this is going to make things right. I just don't. That's my personal opinion, my belief. I don't care if you like it or not. It's my opinion.
Fair enough.
I don't see how this shit just, I don't know. I'm frustrated, man.
Okay.
We got 4 rookies, and now we need defensive back help.
Okay, before we let you go for fantasy, is Christian McCaffrey looking as good as usual? Will he be implemented as much in the passing game as he was? I mean, 116 receptions last year? That is fucking insane. That's not going to happen this year. Are they going to spread the ball around, or is McCaffrey still going to be utilized 100%?
If you're in the PPR lead, I wouldn't necessarily pick him up. I think he's going to be more of a effective running back. Look for them to spread the ball around to those 4 great receivers, Samuels, Robbie Anderson, Moore, and he's going to get a little bit of touches, but look for him to do most of his work on the ground. The rest of those guys in the air are going to catch the ball a lot more than he will. So his touches will be reduced when it comes to reception, but look for it to go up when it comes to carries.
And you got a good tight end there too. So you guys got a lot of options, man. I'm telling you. And Bridgewater, I'm excited to see this guy. I'm excited to watch this guy play this year. I really am. I'm rooting for him because he had that chance, years ago in Minnesota. Then he was kind of shelved with injuries and showed some promise last year at the Saints, and now finally got an opportunity. I'm super excited to watch this guy. There we go.
Me too. Say bet.
Pause up. I got it now. I got it. All right, man. Thanks for coming on. We got to move on here. I got to check my schedule. I got so caught up in the pause up that I actually lost track of who's coming up next. My goodness. All right. Let's go to, is he in the room here? I got to check he's actually due. And we've got to go to our football guy here. Is he in the waiting room? He's not here. So we're going to move on for him because I'm looking for our football team guy. All right, let's move on here. Let's go to Bossarowski. Where are you, Bossarowski? We got to talk the Pack.
How's it going?
What's going on with the Packers? Tell me something that I don't know.
Okay. I don't know if you know it. I just want to clarify some things because a lot of people are hated on Jordan Love and pretty much saying this guy is trash.
Wow.
He doesn't know what he's doing. And I want to clarify that one a little bit because I think a lot of people are jumping a gun that you shouldn't jump. And if you go back and if you could find the tape and look at Aaron Rodgers in 2005 when he was a rookie and look at his preseason tape, he looks like trash. He doesn't look anything close to what he looks like right now. So I think people have to sit there and allow the system to train Jordan Love and build him into a better quarterback. So I don't understand why people are getting all up in arms about what he looks like in camp or if he throws a bad ball in camp. It's his rookie year. He's not going to start this year. He's not even going to be backup this year. Tim Boyle's backup. So Jordan Love's not even going to see a snap this year. I guarantee it. So I don't know why. I don't understand why people are so up in arms about what he looks like in camp and they're already clamoring him as a bust. And I don't understand that at all.
Yeah, I mean, everybody, it's just the biased Rodgers fans, passionate fans. They want to see Rodgers. And by the way, I'm in this huge money league, the same money league I was talking about earlier with Trent there with the Rams. And I actually got, believe it or not, it's a money league, 12 person, and I was able to manage. It's a 1 quarterback league, but I want a good backup. I got Aaron Rodgers as my backup quarterback to Matt Ryan. I am loaded at quarterback this season.
So Aaron's my starter in the FTFN fantasy league.
Nice.
I got him pretty late, and I think Aaron's gonna have a nice year. I think he's going to be better than last year. So, I mean, that's good. I know you're high on Allen Lazard. He's having better camps. Him and Aaron look like a pivotal duo. Obviously, Devontae and him are already that. But
yeah,
Allen Lazard is still looking like clear-cut number 2. There's no competition.
We got a question here before I let you go. Mike Nixon 2324 asking, and I could probably answer this for you, but I can answer this for you, but I want you to answer because you would know better. Will Aaron Jones put up the same numbers or similar numbers to last year?
Okay, obviously he's not going to put up the same. I think he just got a lot of volume last year because, he stayed healthy. 19 touchdowns. It's hard to say that someone's going to put that up again because I don't think he's going to. I think he's still going to get a lot of volume, but considering they drafted AJ Dillon might vulture some of those goal line carries. You don't know. So Aaron Jones was a touchdown happy running back. He didn't have a crazy amount of yards, but he had a lot of touchdowns. He had 4 in Dallas against the Cowboys in that game. I could see him still putting up volume in the yardage and the passing game. But when it comes down to the goal line, last year, even Jamal Williams stole some of his goal line carries. So if you draft A.J. Dillon, why wouldn't he steal him? Because A.J. Dillon's like a beefed up Jamal Williams. So you know what I mean?
All right. We got to move on here. Everyone's asking for Ed. Thank you very much, Bozzarowski. I appreciate you. Go follow him at fan2fannetwork.com under the Pack page. And go Packers. Go Packers. I'm such on the bandwagon every time. I'm wearing a Falcons hat. I got Colts behind me. I was talking to Paws Up, and now I'm cheering for the Packers. What a hypocrite. All right, move on.
As long as you don't have your Bears hat on. Is it on?
No, it's actually, hold on.
Now, get that out of here. No, I don't want to see it.
Paws Up. These are the real paws.
No, they're not. They don't do shit.
All right, there we go.
As long as they have Mitch Trubisky at quarterback, they're not doing anything.
All right, so let's move it on here. Mitch Trubisky. All right, let's here. I'm going to do this for you. There it goes. All right, let's move on here. Thank you. All right, so we got to go to the Washington football team. Where are you, Ed Oliver? Where are you?
What's up, man?
Hey, what's going on, man? What's going on with the football team right now? Biggest question before I'm going to throw you off, actually. Who is the starting running back? Obviously, it's Peterson. Who is second? Is it Gibson? Is it Love? Who is emerging in camp? I got to ask my fantasy questions. It's like I'm a kid at Christmas every time you guys come on. Who's doing well in fantasy? And then you guys get to your spiel. So what's going on there?
There's actually some beat reporters that have been saying J.D. McKissick is the second guy.
What?
And I can kind of see why. Yeah, I know. They said, but I would, if you're doing fan, I probably would go with Gibson just because they love him so much. He was a 3rd-round pick, and they both can run and catch. But a lot of the beat reporters are saying J.D. McKissic.
Why no love for love? I mean that honestly, because like I said, I told you I met him. Super nice guy, super talented out of college. I know he had the injury. When I met him at the draft, he was still a little sore on the leg. I could see him like he was favoring that leg. But that was like last draft, 2019. That was been over a year and a half ago or whatever. But anyway, why no love for love? What is going on? Why can't this guy just start?
Because Adrian Peterson is the veteran and he never gets hurt. You know, the thing with Washington is injuries. You know, guys having injuries and all the other running backs like Chris Thompson getting injured every game. Adrian Peterson is the only reliable guy that we know can play more than 10 games in a season. So I do think Bryce Love will get a lot of playing time, though.
But again,
Rivera said not to sleep on him.
But what bothers me is this. I don't want to hold you up and talk too much about this, but I remember, I think it was Zeke came in. Obviously, Bryce is no Zeke. We don't know. Maybe it could be. But when the Cowboys that year, I think it was DeMarco Murray, one of those guys, came off like over 1,000-yard rushing season. They had Murray, they had Alfred Morris, and these guys are kind of like this on the decline. Peterson's not the same Peterson from the past. He's just not. Why not start a guy that could be young, dynamic, and explosive instead of starting Mr. Old, reliable, and boring? Peterson's good, but he's just not that good anymore. Let's be honest here. Start a guy, give him a chance, the same way the Cowboys ran with Zeke. That's what annoys me with the Redskins. That's why I hate you guys. I despise you for fantasy football. Give Love some love. What are your thoughts?
Well, yeah, we are the football team now, but AP, I mean, he's just reliable. We haven't, you know, like we tried to give Geis a chance. He got injured 3-4 times in a row, so he's been the only reliable guy. We tried to go the young route. We probably will give Bryce Love a big chance and Antonio Gibson a huge chance as well. But AP had 1,000 yards in 2018, then he had 898 yards last year. So I mean, he's been putting in the work. We can't hate on AP. We love Adrian Peterson over here. He's the only guy that can play more than 10 games in a season. So, but AP, he's been putting in work in practice. He probably will have at least 700, 800 yards this season too. Right.
Okay. Anything else we need to know in camp? What's going on that we need to be aware of?
The Predator, Chase Young, he's had a good day today. He had a sack on Haskins. He actually tackled Mr. O'Reliable, the future Hall of Famer Adrian Peterson. He had a big tackle on Adrian Peterson. The other day, he had a big tackle on Logan Thomas where he was basically standing over him like he was a little kid. And Chase Young, he's been looking really good. There was a scare injury with Jonathan Allen, the former Alabama defensive lineman. He had a knee injury. Haven't done any x-rays on it yet, but Ron Rivera said he should be good to go for week 1 against the Eagles. Dwayne Haskins looked good today. Kyle Allen looked pretty good today. Both quarterbacks looked good. Alex Smith did not participate in 11. He actually didn't participate at all in practice today for the most part. He did non-contact drills.
Yeah.
So it's still looking like Dwayne Haskins will be the week 1 starter.
Okay.
Like I said before.
All right. Perfect, man. I appreciate you coming on, man, as per usual. What is your YouTube channel for everybody, please? Because I'm going to start eventually once the channel gets massive, which is already starting to grow significantly already. This is what our 3rd or 4th live stream. We're going to be actually embedding all of the ambassadors' YouTube links here in the messages. But how do they find you, please, on YouTube?
Just type in Ed Oliver.
Redskins.
You can type in the old name.
Yeah.
Or you can type in football team. But yeah, definitely put some respect on AP's name. He might be good for you in fantasy this year. We'll see.
All right, perfect. All right, so let's move on here. We got to go over to Kid Blue. A lot of people in the comments asking for Kid Blue. Thanks, Ed. I appreciate you as per always, man. It means the world. All right, so thank you. Let's move on to Kid Blue for the Giants. And my first overall pick in fantasy football. Where are you, Kid Blue?
What's going on?
Saquon. That's the question. How is Saquon looking, man?
Saquon's looking great, man. I mean, there's nothing too much to say. I mean, it's all everything we've seen before. In training camp, he's making big plays in the passing game, the running game, whether it's bouncing outside or running in between the tackles. Saquon's looking great, man.
And how is the O-line? Is it robust enough? Okay, so if you were to level it, okay, scale of 1 to 10 here. Mm-hmm. So let's say the O-line last year was a 2. Or okay, what was the O-line out of 10 last year? Give us a number, please. Unbiased.
God, it was terrible. Let's say it was a 2.
Okay, it's a 2. All right. So where are we now? Are we at a 5? Let's just give us a general scale. How much has it improved? Has it improved like to a 3 or a 4, or more like a 6 to an 8 or not? Where are we at?
I definitely say from the potential standpoint, it's definitely improved, but we haven't really seen too much of that. We've got 2 new starters, both at the tackle position. We drafted Andrew Thomas with that 4th overall pick, and we're having an unexpected position battle at the right tackle spot between veteran Cam Fleming and Matt Peart. But as far as the interior goes, we also have a new starter at center, which is Nick Gates. He's a guy that's been thrown all the way around from guard to tackle, now being put at center. We had our blue and white scrimmage game, and he's actually been playing extremely, extremely well at the center position. So as far as the tackle, as far as the offensive line position goes, from the potential standpoint, it's getting better. We just haven't seen it yet.
Kid Racco's saying he's a Cowboy. He's got a Cowboys logo here. They're gonna waste Saquon's career. Kid Roscoe, Cowboys. So that's what his feel. He's a Cowboys fan. So I'm assuming this comment is extremely biased.
Well, yeah, because we have Jason Garrett now, and now he knows that we're going to be using Saquon to his best abilities, because that's what Jason Garrett does best, and he knows that as well as anybody.
I love it.
Yeah, I've been saying this. I've been saying this for months now, ever since we got Jason Garrett. I think he's going to be the best addition to the Giants this season. As far as the scheme and how the Giants should be run, it's something that the Giants have been looking for years. The exact scheme that Jason Garrett runs, just run the ball down your throat.
All right. Anything else we need to know from camp with the Giants? Who's the number 1 there? Is it Slayton right now, or is it going to be Slayton?
It's looking like it is probably going to be Slayton. We had our blue and white scrimmage game, and he was targeted probably the most out of the wide receivers. Sterling Shepard got some reps in there too. Golden Tate has been pretty silent, but he's still a good veteran. As far as any camp notes goes, a quick injury report. We had that devastating injury to Xavier McKinney. We're losing him for about 2 months. Also, David Mayo out for the season at the inside linebacker position. Other than that, we've been really, really healthy, and that's very surprising coming from the Giants. We're always hit with the injury bug early. Darnay Holmes, our rookie 4th-round pick, he's looking pretty good right now. The biggest standout in training camp so far, being a rookie, and especially from a weak cornerback position, we needed that so much. He did leave the blue and white scrimmage game with an injury, lower body injury, but it doesn't seem too serious. It seems like he'll be all right.
All right, perfect. Thank you very much, Kid Blue. And how do they find you? Just Kid Blue Giants, and you're right there on YouTube, right?
Oh yeah, on YouTube I'll just be Kid Blue Giants, on Instagram Kid Blue Official, same thing on Twitter, Kid Blue RB27.
I appreciate you as per usual. You're free to go. Thank you. We'll see you next Sunday, and we are getting so close. 11 more days till I see Saquon Barkley hit the field. I'm beyond excited. Excitement is not even a word to describe it. It's beyond excitement. Saquon's my guy, man. I absolutely love this guy. He's my new hero. Oh, one last thing. Is there any chance that they're going to hold out? He's really been pushing for a holdout, hasn't he? With this opt-out for a game. Do you think that's going to happen with the Giants?
He said that as a possibility, and in my honest opinion, I think it was probably a PR move, but I don't think that anything's going to happen from the Giants facility. They talked about these things, about canceling practice, things like that, but I don't think Joe Judge would allow it to happen, our new head coach. I don't see it happening.
I understand the social. I understand he wants to stick up for a cause, so I respect that, but hopefully he doesn't sit out. So that's great. Thank you for being on, man. Appreciate you.
Yes, sir.
All right, we're going to move on to, and I hate to say he's my favorite because there's a reason why he's one of my favorites. Chiseled Adonis, get on here. I want to tell people why you're one of my favorites.
Well, I'm happy to be here. High praise coming from the Football Council.
And he's always got the natural light coming in. Beautiful light. I feel good. Why do I feel so good about you? Because I got questions. I got Claypool in a league, and I just saw a video. He's looking flashy. The calf muscles are protruding. He's looking really, really good. I like me some Claypool. Before you get to the news, I got to ask, I know you got a good breakdown for us. How is my guy Claypool and Deontay looking? Are they getting a lot of targets?
Oh, absolutely. First and foremost, Claypool has done nothing but improve every single day. He had a sensational practice week this week. And just this past Thursday, when I thought it could get no better, he's actually improved in how he's playing. You saw earlier this week, he had a couple of back shoulder fades, had a couple of goal line situation touchdown catches, but he's showing his versatility on the route tree. He's running post, he's running digs, he's running shallow routes, he's taking hits. He's able to sustain those hits too. Micah Fitzpatrick lit him up.
Wow.
earlier this week, and he was able to actually bounce back from that. He took a huge hit. He didn't go down. He stayed on his feet and still fought for extra yardage. So this guy is going to be a complete game chaser, and there's nothing else that we really have to say about Deontay Johnson.
Right.
He's made a ton of people miss last year, so I expect to see his, vitality increase this upcoming season. So those two guys, if you got them on fantasy, get prepared to possibly win yourself a championship, because those are two guys you can trust.
Wow, that's a bold statement, and that's what I've been feeling. It's kind of like gut feeling, kind of the same feeling I had with Derrick Henry, and it's like I feel like Deontay or Claypool, like I'm just getting both now. I had a great draft. It's a huge money league, and I got to vent this out. The biggest miss, I got everybody I got. I got my Saquon. I got my David Johnson, great value. I got Cam Akers, who I like as a sleeper. I got Matt Ryan as my quarterback. Love my team. I love it. The only thing that's not sitting well with me is I missed Deontay Johnson, but I did get Claypool. So I should still feel good that I got Claypool, right? At least.
Yeah, absolutely. You should still feel good. Unfortunately, I don't think he'll be much more productive, at least regarding yards wise, than Johnson. But when it comes to scoring touchdowns, like I said earlier, expect to see Chase Claypool put up at least 8 this particular season, especially if they find themselves in the red zone. Pittsburgh has been begging over the course of the past years for a big red zone target. They have failed in the red zone far too many times since 2017. It's about time they got themselves a large targeting Chase Claypool. So you got him on your fantasy team. Get excited, because when they get inside that 20-yard line, expect to see him put points on the board.
He's kind of reminding me like a good version of Martavis Bryant, a guy that could stay on the field. I don't know. Could he be that Martavis Bryant upside there when he had the big season? Who knows?
Oh, absolutely. I think he could splash onto the scene very similar to Martavis, but we just got to make sure he stays off the weed.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I said good boy. He's a good version of Martavis. All right, anything else we need to know in camp that's popping out, that's standing out?
Well, there's big news first from the Steelers O-line. Our all-pro Pro Bowler, David Castro, left practice Friday night with an undisclosed injury. So we're waiting to see what, the details on that will be. But that's a huge blow if he's actually unable to go in week 1 and moving forward. So I'd hope he's able to return. But the positive on the line is Kevin Dotson, I believe he was our 4th-round pick.
Right.
He just returned back from injury, and he stood out so far. And if PFF, you're looking at Pittsburgh Steelers D-line is the highest graded D-line in the league going into this season. And you got a rookie guard coming back off of injury, and he's holding his own against those guys. You got all pros like Cam Hayward in front of you. You got guys who are highly graded defensive linemen and a Stephon Tuitt, and he's still able to stop them. Even TJ Watt and Bud Dupree, coming off of stunts, have been stopped and halted at the line by Dotson. So I'm extremely excited to see how this guy is going to be playing moving forward. And our 2nd round draft pick, or maybe 3rd, I can't recall which round he was taking it, but Alex Highsmith, he's been playing very well in practice as well. Now, this is a guy who's going to be behind Bud Dupree, be behind TJ Watt, but he's making his presence felt. He might be a rotation guy on a 3rd down, or hell, he might even see time on the field and on 2nd down. So who knows what we'll see from this guy, but he's playing very good in practice. Marcus Allen, our pick from 2018, he only been on the field 3 times in the last 2 years, but now he's shifting from safety to possible inside linebacker. He struggles in coverage, but he's a huge hitter and a sure tackler. So since Pittsburgh is playing a lot more nickel nowadays, I expect to see him, get more snaps on the field because he's highly versatile. If you remember years back with Troy Polamalu, he was able to be all over the field. Now, I'm not saying Marcus Allen is that guy. He's nowhere near it. He has as much talent as Troy Polamalu has in his toenail, but I expect to see him get around the field and make some plays in the run game. And last but not least, Big Ben has been looking absolutely magnificent. This guy hasn't looked like he dropped off at all. And more importantly, he told TJ Watt personally hit him in practice so he could get used to being hit. Now, I hope TJ Watt doesn't hit him because, Big Ben, his elbow and his injury history, we don't want to go and start out week 1 against Kid Blues Giants with Mason Rudolph or Devlin Hodges. I might just have to step in that quarterback if that's the case. Whatever the case is, I'm excited for Pittsburgh, man. They had a sensational training camp thus far.
One comment here, Brandon Rodgers in the comments saying, quote, Steelers are going 7-9 and the Browns are better.
Oh, so if that's the case, then he must be playing some sort of Madden stimulation. I'm not sure what he's doing because he's not going to go down like that.
Yeah, I think the Steelers are going to do better than that. But Browns on paper, like last year, looked good. I wasn't sold. I think they're going to do better. I think Odell, if healthy, does better this year. They got a great running back situation there. I think better than the Steelers' running back situation. But hey, man, it's all about how the team comes together. And I think the quarterback, the receivers, I think that even though they don't have the name Odell there, I think they're better with the better combination. Don't sleep on Claypool, man. Don't sleep.
Yeah, absolutely. And last final thoughts regarding the Browns. I mean, a lot of people always talk high about the Browns. They expect them to go places. The only Super Bowl the Browns are going is if somebody's pooping and it's going down the toilet. Those guys are never going to see deep in the postseason. Expect to see Pittsburgh finish in the postseason. I'm not too sure how far they'll go, but I expect to see them in there.
Oh, my God. The shitty bowl. That's where they get to. Led by Baker Mayfield. All right, man. Thanks, Chisel. As always, a pleasure, man. Steelers, find them at Fan to Fan Network, our Steelers brand ambassador, one of the biggest nations to cover. So big shoes to fill there. Big shoes to have. Thanks, Chisel.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
Thanks, man. So let's move on here. We've got, let's talk to Ian from Jet Central real quick. What's going on? Ian, are you there? We want to know what's going on. Well, I don't really care, but what's going on with the Jets?
Yeah, what's up, Joe?
What's happening, man? No, I appreciate you, man. You make the Jets fun. It's hard to say that, but yeah. There you go.
I mean, somebody's got to, right?
Someone's got to cover it.
Right on. So, I mean, you take a look at the Jets so far throughout training camp. I mean, you'll probably like this. It's just negative headline after negative headline. I mean, the offense overall just can't move. It's 3 and outs. It's injuries pretty much all across the board on offense. I mean, I was reading one article the other day where it was, the first team offense was continuing to go 3 and out against the second team defense. And then the first team defense got, I think, hung 28 points on them by the second string offense. So right now the team's a mess. We did just bring in Chris Hogan, Dante Moncrief's, because we had a couple of injuries at wide receiver.
You guys are desperate. Desperate times, desperate measures. You want Hulk Hogan as your wide receiver and Moncrief, who's done nothing. Years to wow me, and guess what? I'm not wowed. I had to interrupt there. You guys are desperate at wide receiver, man.
Yeah, super desperate. I mean, the one thing that all Jets fans are kind of talking about right now, and it's funny you just had Chiseled on, but it's trading for Juju Smith because supposedly there's a little bit of friction there. Juju played with Sam Darnold back in college, and the Jets have enough money to give him like a massive deal once his contract, is up. So that'll be kind of an interesting thing. I don't really know how realistic it is as we stand today, but I think it's definitely something to monitor as we, move forward and kind of inch closer to the season.
That's good insight. I'd like to see Juju there, then Deontay and Claypool get more volume. That would be good. Right. I'm just all thinking fantasy. And Le'Veon Bell, there's a lot of things going on. I meant to talk to you. I mean, I think you missed last week's meeting, or last one we had. I'm really curious to know what's going on because I'm not drafting Le'Veon Bell for fantasy, and I thought he was going to be pretty safe. But my question mark is now Frank Gore doing good in camp. They are looking at other running backs getting the ball. Is there any friction with Le'Veon Bell, the coaching? Is there anything going on that would implicate him or say that he might not see a lot of volume?
Yeah, I mean, so one would think kind of going into the offseason that Bell would dominate, right? It's a second season in the Gase offense. Chemistry with Sam Darnold, chemistry with that offensive line, in really good shape and whatnot. So, I mean, as a Jet fan, and of course, the season, we have yet to play a game, so he could still come in there, be the day one starting running back and dominate. Who knows? Right. But as kind of the scuttlebutt around camp is right now, it's Frank Gore. Frank Gore is by far the best running back there. And that's
he's like 100 years old, that guy. He's 100 years old.
It's discouraging, man. It really is. I mean, I like Frank Gore and that's awesome that he's dominating and stuff. But at the end of the day, I mean, he's been a third down back for the Dolphins and the Bills for the last couple of seasons. I don't know if he's ready or capable enough to kind of lead that charge and be RB1, for the team.
All right, man. Thanks for the update there, man. I don't know. I'm concerned about the Jets all around. That's all I got to say. One last thing. Denzel Mims. Anything with him? I mean, he was a little banged up. Is he good to go? And is he going to be a primary target?
If once he gets healthy, he should honestly step in and be the day one, number one wide receiver. That's how good he looked before the injury, but he's still hurt. So it's a hamstring issue, and it honestly has not gone away.
Oh, sorry. I hit the wrong button there. I gave you an outro there. Thanks a lot, man. I appreciate you as per usual. Jet Central. He's our brand ambassador for the Jets. He's got them locked down. The biggest YouTube channel, the best YouTube channel for everything Jets. Make sure you guys are following. Anything else you got to say? Are we good? We're covered now for now.
Yeah, pretty much all covered. Thanks, Joe.
We'll see you next week, man. I appreciate it. All right, we got to move on here. Let's get the Bengals here. JT Sports covering the Bengals. We are kind of over time here, but we're still going to give you the time. We're going to just continue. It's okay. A couple minutes over is not a big deal. So a couple minutes. What is going on with the Bengals? Anything we need to know? I had my partner here, JT, say something about Mixon tweeting something about him missing the game. Is there anything going on with Mixon first before we start?
Yeah, man. So the biggest thing when it comes to Joe Mixon is that apparently the Cincinnati Bengals are prepared for him to hold out, but they're not really expecting him to hold out.
Right.
Because he has been a very vocal part in that locker room throughout training camp so far, and he hasn't really missed any significant time in training camp prior to, the whole thing with migraines. But with the things that he has tweeted now, it seems like he may be considering holding out. But, me personally being somebody, even though I don't post on social media that much, in the social media age, a lot of people just post things just to post things. So a lot of fans, take everything out of context. So I'm not really thinking that Joe Mixon is going to hold out. And if he does, probably he'll hold out into the duration of training camp, which is only like a few days left. So, he should be back shortly. But I just think it's all smoke and mirrors. I think Joe Mixon should be back because if he wanted to hold out, he probably would have done it before. Like, why would you just have a change of heart when training camp is about to end?
Right. Is there anything else we need to know here with the camp or anything we need to be aware of? What's going on? AJ Green looking healthy? Anything with the offense, defense that we need to be aware of, JT? Please let us know.
So what I've been reading is that Tyler Boyd is starting to become Joe Burrow's safety blanket. So what a lot of Bengals fans think is going to happen is that AJ Green, being AJ Green, is still going to demand attention on the outside, which is going to open up, room and space for Tyler Boyd to do his work in the middle of the field. So that leads me to believe that we may see Tyler Boyd play a little bit more slot this year, in my opinion. So overall, one thing that I'm really impressed is about Joe Burrow. I think he's been an excellent leader. He led the march when the Bengals went to march in protest. And I really think that Joe Burrow is going to have a really good rookie season. And the fact that he's able to command the locker room, which is really important. A lot of players just have a lot of respect. And it's you listen to this guy talks, he just oozes confidence. This guy's super confident. The players like him. The coaches love him a lot. So I think that he is going to be the right guy to change this Bengals offense and this Bengals franchise around. So, I think he could be in for a pretty stellar rookie season despite having a shortened off season.
Yeah, man. Well, I appreciate that insight, man. I'm staying away from everything Bengals this season. Yeah, man. I'm excited, man. I'm excited about the season. We're almost there, period. And JT Sports, you have a massive YouTube channel. You're doing really well. You cover all teams. Am I correct?
Yes.
On your channel? Okay, so he covers everything. Very, very well-rounded, understands, and has a good concept of all teams and all things NFL. He is the Around the League ambassador on Fan to Fan Network, so you can catch him there, and we're going to have him uploaded on he's going to be covering Bengals as well, so you can go to him for anything Cincinnati Bengals. It's a big nation out there, so I appreciate you being on, JT, as always. Thank you. It means the world.
Appreciate you for having me, man.
Thank you.
Care.
All right, so who do we have left here? Let's go to the Cowboys and then we got Dosa Dion in the ranks, and let's go to Ryan Cox here. He handles the Cowboys. So can we get you on, Ryan, handling the Cowboys? He is actually the lead writer for the Cowboys, along with Law Nation, who is the ambassador there. What's going on, Ryan?
Yo, what's going on, Joe?
Glad to have you on. Law Nation could not be with us. He is smooth talking somebody somewhere in Dallas area, I'm sure. What is going on, man? Anything going on with Dallas right now that we need to be aware of?
Well, we have a big blue-white scrimmage today at 5 Central, 6 Eastern. It's going to be at AT&T Stadium. It's an annual scrimmage we do. Typically in the past, it's more like a practice. This year, it's going to be a big deal because there's obviously no preseason. But what I want to talk to you about, Joe, is you keep talking about Dallas having a lot of mouths to feed.
Yes.
And we do. But everybody eats in Dallas, Joe. So I want to remind you, everybody knows Amari Cooper and Michael Gallup had 1,000-yard seasons last year.
Yeah.
Everybody knows Ezekiel's good for 1,400 yards every year.
Yeah.
But people forget that Randall Cobb had 800 yards last season. And we know he's H-Town swinging with DW4 in Houston now, but we replaced him with a dangerous man. I think Law Nation calls him "Sa Dangerous Lamb." 800 yards for Randall Cobb might be 1,000 for CD Lamb. Also, Jason Witten had 500 yards last year. I think we'll get similar production from Blake Jarwin this season. Tony Pollard had 450 yards last year. I think we'll get about 500 from him as well. So, like I said, everybody eats.
Yeah. I mean, I'm still a little concerned because I want guys that are on the high part of their depth chart. And yeah, technically CeeDee Lamb could emerge there, but they've got so much talent at wide receiver. I'm a little suspect there. So, so CeeDee Lamb's doing obviously good in camp, right? Looking awesome.
So, Joe, the more I hear about him, the better it is. So today I heard that guys are talking around Dallas about CD Lamb being the best receiver in training camp for Dallas.
Wow.
Over Amari Cooper and Michael Gallup. Yeah.
I could see that. I mean, those guys are good, but I don't think they're top tier guys. Maybe CeeDee Lamb has that potential. So yeah, I mean, it all depends on who Dak is going to feed. And is Pollard going to be a factor in Zeke, or is Zeke going to be running the ball like crazy?
And that's the thing with Pollard. We don't know what his volume is going to be. I do think with Mike McCarthy, he's going to keep two running backs on the field a lot more often than Jason Garrett did. So I think that's definitely a good thing, and that'll definitely benefit Tony Pollard. Also think he's a good pass catcher. So it'll be interesting to see how much we use him. As of right now, I couldn't really tell you if he'll get the volume he needs to be a good fantasy back.
All right, man. I appreciate you. Thank you for being on. He is the lead writer at Fan to Fan Network under Dallas Cowboys. Ryan, genuinely, thanks a lot for being on, man, and covering for Laws. And we'll get you on as well with Laws. You guys can go together. Thanks, man. Let's move on to Dosa Dion with the Lions. He's been waiting in the ranks for a long time. Dosa Dion, my personal favorite guy. One of my favorite. Everyone's my favorite. Everyone who has my fantasy players is all of a sudden my favorite. Dos, how's Kenny G doing? Kenny Galladay.
Yeah, man, I knew you were going to – you guys good? I got a different mic. Are we good?
That's all I care about is Kenny Galladay. I don't care about you. I don't care about Matt Stafford. I don't care about the weather in Detroit. I don't give a shit. I just want to know how Kenny Galladay is feeling. If his feelings are okay, that's all I care about. I don't even care about myself. I just care about Kenny Galladay. What's happening?
For my Galladay, man. Yeah, so – hey, Kenny Galladay, I knew you were going to ask, so I had to be prepared with some Kenny Galladay.
Of course.
It's great timing because yesterday was his best day of practice. They ran their scrimmages, which I think is going to be the last day that we get like media coverage. I think the Patriots guy said that too.
Yeah.
So they did run their scrimmage. He had 2 touchdowns, and he had one-handed grab on our top cornerback. So Kenny Galladay's looked great. And they also talked to Danny Amendola, the slot receiver, and their offensive coordinator, Bill Bell, yesterday. And they discussed.
That's how I feel about Amendola. Nobody gives a shit about Amendola. Okay, tell me what Amendola.
He's smart. He's a better what?
Yeah, no, just tell me what Amendola is gonna do because I don't like him. He's a pest.
All right. Yeah. Well, okay. Well, this ain't what he's gonna do. This is what he says. So Amendola talked about the Lions' offense, and he said the 2 things that surprised him the most there. Actually, this wasn't Amendola. Now I messed up. I meant Chase Daniel. Daniel, I know you don't like him either. He's a backup. Chase Daniel discussed the Lions' offense, and he said the 2 things that surprised him most: how many shots they're gonna take. And they did it last year, Stafford's highest yards per attempt, and they're going to do it this year. So Galladay, man, he's going to get a lot of big yards. And you were talking about to the Panthers guy. Well, I can't remember who you were talking about the top 100 snub. Kenny Galladay's the definition of a top 100 snub, man.
Yes.
League in touchdowns, nearly 1,200 yards. Come on, man.
No respect. No respect. He's a top 2 receiver in the league, people. Wake up. And this year, you guys are going to see it. I've called it. Me and Dos are telling you right now.
Yes, we're telling them, man. They got to stay woke on Kenny Galladay. I guess for the rest of the training camp, a couple little updates. Health has been getting back. I mean, they're really easing players into it. We saw DeAndre Swift and stuff running off the sideline, but they're not back in scrimmages yet, so that's kind of unfortunate. It looks like Amani, if they started right now the season, Amani would be the top corner instead of Okudah because Amani has been playing really, really well, and Okudah's he's just really trying to learn the defense. I think you've seen him on the field. He's just learning defense, and that receiving core is tough. I mean, he's going to be against the best receiving core in the league. I'm saying it right now. I mean, it's deep, and there's just no drop off. When you got Cephas, the rookie out there, Jamal Agnew now, and you got the top best trio in the league, so there's no drop off. It's tough, and but it puts a lot of competition because I mean he's not going to face anything like that during the season.
People saying we got Theodore Dunez saying Hawkinson huge fantasy value. You agree?
Yeah, I like that. I actually got him in our league, so yeah, I got TJ Hawkinson late there. I like that. TJ Hawkinson, man, he's gonna have a big year. He'll be healthy. He'll be confident. He's bulked up and he's dominated so far in training camp.
All right, perfect. All right, thanks for being on, Dose. We appreciate it, AKA Pat Mahomes, man. Let's move on. All right, we got to get our Bears ambassador, Faizan. Thanks, Dose. Troy, let's move on to Faizan here. Bears, what is going on? Montgomery ready to play week 1. We want to know.
What's going on, Joe? It's looking doubtful, man. 2 to 4 weeks for the groin strain, which is much better than anything any Bears fan was expecting because we thought it was a serious injury. But if I had to tell you right now whether he's going to be good to go for week 1, I'm going to lean more towards the doubtful side.
Okay, and that was a big thing. Again, back to that money league I'm in. I was in the 4th round, and I was looking at him, and I'm like, okay, he's going to miss a week or two. I still got enough running back depth, but I ended up going with Cam Akers. I may kick myself in the nuts later if I can physically do that for this, because I do like Montgomery. I'm just really unfortunate that this injury happened. And I guess that could be a good thing because he is more value for fantasy in regards to fantasy. Obviously not good in reality. From a value thing, it is a good thing. From a realistic, I feel bad it's a groin thing. But I'm glad it's a groin thing because it could have been far worse. So, yeah, man, anything else going on with the Bears? Is Allen Robinson getting the prime target share? What's going on? And obviously we heard the news, Matt Nagy not telling us who's going to be starting. You would know who's starting. What's your best guess here?
So I'll just tell you what the reporters and everybody surrounding and covering training camp is saying right now. None of the 2 quarterbacks have separated themselves. The reporters seem to give the edge slightly to Nick Foles. He had the better practice, the last practice that we saw. But I think it's a toss-up, Joe. I honestly do. The reason I'm saying that because this feels has to decide if he wants, the upside, but the erratic play of Trubisky, or he wants the, vanilla, boring style of Nick Foles, but it gets it done. It's solid. So as far as him not announcing until literally, before week 1, I'm not surprised at all. He's just trying to play his cards. He doesn't want the Lions to know who to prepare for. That's literally it. I'm pretty sure in his mind, he has his guy that he's leaning towards.
Yeah.
He's just not going to say because he doesn't want the Lions to prepare for whoever it is going to be.
My gut feeling is this, and I could be wrong here, but this is my gut feeling on the Mitch Trubisky, Nick Foles situation. So I think they're going to start Mitch Trubisky. They're going to let him play 3 games. I'll tell you why, because I think a guy that was, supposed to be drafted as your franchise guy, you bring him in. If you don't start that guy, you kind of break his, what's the word I'm trying to look for? His spirit, confidence, spirit. It's kind of a knock, which can lead to a little bit of resentment from the player, the coaches, and all that stuff. So because they know that Foles, I think, is the safer play anyway. So I'm just going to go 100%, 99.9% Mitch Trubisky starting, just out of just common sense and I just think that's just the way it's going to be. So that's my opinion on that. Do you agree? Am I sounding crazy, or does that kind of make sense logically?
No, I completely agree. Start Mitch Trubisky. If things go wrong, break the glass and get the fire extinguisher that is Nick Foles, right? That's what you got to do. And if the house is on fire, you can take out the fire.
Yeah.
You don't start Nick Foles and then bring in a low confidence, broken down Mitch Trubisky if Nick Foles doesn't play well. And now you got 2 bad quarterbacks, which is what Jacksonville had last year when they brought back Nick Foles for Minshew when he got hurt. So.
But again, you can look at it 2 ways. You can say, okay, well, why don't, and again, you can look at, I won't elaborate on this, but you can look at it the second way. You could say, okay, let's start Nick Foles, play it safe, get those guaranteed wins, get that good track record going, because I think Nick Foles can win games probably more than Mitch Trubisky safely. And then if Nick Foles craps the bed, we're not seeing the ceiling we want, then you bring Trubisky. But I think it just doesn't work that way, because then Trubisky will be more hungry to get in. You can look at it both ways, half glass full, empty. Either way, I'm excited to see what happens. I like the upside of Mitch Trubisky, and I think he starts. All right, man. Anything else with camp that we need to be aware of?
Yeah, I totally agree.
So we're good to go.
Just a couple of quick notes with training. Just a couple of quick notes. Allen Robinson, I mean, not much to say. He's going to be a stud. You already knew that. The tight ends look good, Joe. I'm sorry. They just do. Jimmy Graham's been looking good. Colt Kmet's been looking good. So I don't know what to say. Apparently, Jimmy Graham's poised for a big year, but we'll see. So that's what I got.
Yeah, I'm in years to wow me. I'm not wowed as of late anyway. All right, thanks for coming on, Faizan. Find him as the Bears Ambassador, fan2fannetwork.com. And we got a guy here, Chubitski. Oh, his name is, sorry. His name is Dan Fanman saying Trubinsky, whatever, Bitchski's going to start. Anyway, I can't even read it. It's going too fast here. He has been he's got good career numbers against the Lions for some reason, but I also think that the Lions are going to eat week 1 and Foles will find the field second half. So yeah, there's a prediction from Dan Fanman. All right, man, or Det Fan, man. I can't even read today. All right, thanks, man. I appreciate you, man. That wraps it up. I think I got everybody. If there's anyone else waiting, I think we got everybody. Thanks for being here, everybody. And guys, make sure you subscribe, leave a thumbs up, and leave your fantasy questions below. I'll try to get to some of those and your questions for the ambassadors, guys. Fan to Fan Network at fantofannetwork.com. Thanks, everybody, for being here. We'll be here every Sunday morning. Subscribe, and we are out. Appreciate you guys.